Drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes. I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets.
Great Saturday morning. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? This is the TFG Sports Show. I am your host, the sports guy Kendrick. I hope everyone is having a great Saturday. Had a good week. I hope everybody is doing well. And guess what? I hadn't seen you all since last year. So I got to tell you, Happy New Year to you. I hope your new year is going well. 14 days into it. And so here we are. Good morning, Demi J. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you're having a swell Saturday morning. Again, just like Demi J just did, come in. Make sure you comment. Let me know you're here so we can chat a taste. Make sure you like and share the page. Share this live, TFG Sports Media. You can catch me here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 Eastern. Happy New Year to you, Demi J. I appreciate that. Again, make sure you come in, like, share the page, subscribe to the channel. And I got an announcement on TFG Sports Media on YouTube. I need your help. We are at 998 subscribers. We're only 2 away from that magical number of 1,000. So come on, guys, come help your brother out. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. TFG Sports Media on YouTube. Again, we're at 998. We're almost at that 1,000. And we're going to move on and on from there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like and follow it on Facebook as well. And also, I have my own Sports Hustle channel, Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube. I'm at like 620. While you on YouTube, subscribing to TFG Sports Media, just go ahead and just slide on over to Kendrick Sports Hustle YouTube channel and subscribe to that one as well. Charles Moore, good morning, my brother. Good rising to you. Thanks for dropping in. Your 49ers looking good. We're going to see what's happening. So again, make sure you subscribe to those channels, TFG Sports Media. Before you leave here, make sure you subscribe to Kendrick Sports Hustle YouTube channel as well. Now, let's get into our quick hits real quick. This kind of flew under the radar. The Hall of Fame class of 2023 was announced on last Wednesday. 15 finalists. Here are those finalists. We have tackle Joe Thomas, cornerback Darrelle Revis, defensive end Dwight Freeney, cornerback Albert Lewis, who has waited 25 years to get in, defensive end Jared Allen, tackle Willie Anderson, cornerback Rondé Barber, wide receiver, kick returner, specialist Devin Hester, wide receiver Torrey Holt, wide receiver Andre Johnson, linebacker Zach Thomas, outside linebacker, DeMarcus Ware, wide receiver Reggie Wayne, linebacker Patrick Willis, and safety Darren Woodson. Those are the 15 finalists for this class of 2023 Hall of Fame. They will be announced. The finalists will be announced February 9th at the NFL Honors program. Charles says, gotta have my phone on Do Not Disturb at 3:30 p.m. I know that's right, because we're going to both be watching that, see how it goes down. And we're going to talk about the NFL Wild Card Weekend in just a second. Again, those were the Hall of Fame's class of 2023. We'll know who gets in next month. Now, quick hit number 2. Texas Longhorns fired men's head basketball coach Chris Beard last Thursday. He was arrested December 12th on a charge of domestic family violence. Beard had been head coach at Texas since 2021 after spending 5 seasons at Texas Tech. His fiancee would retract her statement saying that she was the instigator, yada, yada, yada. Well, at that point, it was a moot point. As far as UT administration was concerned, they decided to fire Chris Beard because he had in his contract he could be fired for just cause if he was charged with a felony, and that family domestic violence charge that he's charged with is a 3rd-degree felony. So we'll see what happens there. They don't have to pay him anything. The rest of his contract, he had a 7-year contract. I think he was roughly making about $4 million a year, if I'm not mistaken, $4 or $5 million a year. So yeah, that is a done deal. So I'm sure he will land on his feet because that's normally how it happens. Now, last quick hit. Black Monday for the NFL. That's when the head coaches get either the thumbs up or the thumbs down. That was this past Monday. Well, so far we've had two head coaches already given a pink slip. We kind of saw this one coming. Houston Texans fired Lovie Smith, which I don't agree with after 1 year. They didn't even wait till Monday. They fired him Sunday night. He only one season with the Texans. He went 3-13-1. That was a dumpster fire down there. Nick Caserio and Cal McNair, both the general manager and the owner. I don't think they know their head from their butt. But anyway, the Texans fired Lovie Smith only after one season. So I think that might be a wrap for Lovie as a head coach in this league. I hope not, but we'll see. And also the Arizona Cardinals on Monday, they fired Cliff Kingsbury after 4 seasons with the team. Kingsbury was hired in January 2019, 2 months after he was fired from Texas Tech. The Cardinals went 4-13 this past season, and they lost to the Niners last Sunday, 38-13, and that was the nail in the coffin for Kingsbury. His record with the Cardinals was 28-37-1 overall, and he only made it to the playoffs 1 time. So those were the 2 head coaches from the NFL that was fired on Monday. I'm sure we still got some more coming. You still got openings at Indianapolis, the Broncos, Texans, the Carolina Panthers. Those, and I said the Broncos. So I definitely know those are some of the hot teams that people are looking at. Sean Payton is the man, the top man on the list. I know he's interviewed with one team. I read they hadn't showed which team he's interviewed with, but he has. Charles says Fred Taylor needs to be in there. Yeah, I think so too, Charles. I think he will. You know how the NFL Hall of Fame work. Sometimes it just take time. Again, like I said, Albert Lewis, the top knockback for years. He's been on the wait list. This is his 25th year. So that just shows you. You know how that goes. These riders have their picks, as they say. So, again, those are my quick hits for this Saturday's TFG Sports Show. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes. NFL playoffs. This is wild card weekend. The season ended last weekend, and now we are down to the final 14. But we kick it off with the wild card weekend. Got Saturday, 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. The Saturday games, we got the 7th seeded Seahawks, 9-8 at the 2nd seed 49ers, 13-4. That's today, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central on Fox. And then on what's the second game today? The night game, I believe we got today is the Chargers, the number 5 seed, 10-7 at the number 4 seed Jaguars. Who would have thought they made the playoffs, but they did. They won 5 in a row to get in. They are 9-8. That's the night game tonight. That's at 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central on NBC. Now let's run down the rest of the games. We have the number 6 New York Giants, 9-7-1 at the number 3 Vikings, 13-4. That's a Sunday game. That's at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. Central Time, 4:30 Eastern. I believe that game is on. It is on Fox. And then we got the Monday night game. That's going to be probably the eyeballs on it. You got the number 5 seed, the Cowboys, 12-5 at the number 4 seed Bucks, 8-9. That's the Monday night game on ABC, ESPN. That's at 7:15 Central Standard Time. And the number 1 seed, Philadelphia Eagles, have the bye in the NFC with a 14-3 record. Now, AFC, let's jump over there. The number 7 seed, the Dolphins, 9-8 at the number 2 Bills, 13-3. That's the Sunday game at 12 noon, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. The number 6 Ravens, 10-7 at the number 3 Bengals, 12-4. That's Sunday game. I just said that. That's the night game on Sunday. I'm sorry, I said the Chargers and Jaguars, but the Ravens and Bengals, that's the night game on Sunday on NBC. That's 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central. Again, I said the Chargers at the Jaguars. That's tonight on NBC, 7:15 Central. And the bye is the number 1 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs, at 14-3. So we getting ready we down into the wild card weekend. So everybody has their picks. Now let's start with the Seahawks. Just a real quick preview through some of these games. Seahawks at the 49ers. That's today again. The 49ers are seeking a 3-game sweep of the Seahawks. They beat them twice this season. The Seahawks, though, have won 8 of the 12 games against the Niners since Kyle Shanahan has been the coach of the Niners. But the Niners got a rookie quarterback, man. He could make some history. He's looking good. Brock Purdy. He's 5-0 as a starter. and the Niners are on a 10-game win streak. So look out, man. I said this. Someone asked me this the other day. Who I think got it coming out of the NFC. I said I think the NFC Championship game is going to be the Niners and the Eagles, and I think the Niners got. I just think they can do it with that rookie quarterback. They got a lot of firepower on that offensive side of the ball. Got a top-notch offensive line. Then you got Nick Bosa over there wreaking havoc, 18 and a half sacks this season. He's probably going to be the defensive MVP. He should be. Charles said, all right, Kenny, choose wise. Hey, man, I keep it down the middle, bro. I'm a fan, but I also am, I ain't no fanatic. So I call the game like I said, even if it's against my Packers, who, by the way, they went fishing. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I digress. But again, the Niners are playing some good football right now. Again, I talked about Nick Bosa, 18 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and linebacker Fred Warner for the Niners. That defensive side of the ball they some dogs. The Seahawks going to have some issues. Geno Smith has done a pretty good job, but he's going to have to make some big plays. DK Metcalf, he's going to have to make some plays. Can that Seahawks defense keep the Niners offensive firepower in check with McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel and Ayuk? And man, they George Kittle. The Niners are just, man, they're a well-rounded team. And Kyle Shanahan is a mastermind with play calling. So again, that is the afternoon game today. The Seahawks at the 49ers. I'm going to go ahead and make my pick. I'm just going to go ahead and say the Niners going to put them boys out their misery really quick. I think the Niners will win this game. I'm going to say 28-10 Niners, but it ain't going to probably even be that close, even with a rookie quarterback. So again, that's the Saturday game today at 3:30 Central Standard Time. Now, let's move on to another quick preview. We're talking about the Chargers at the Jaguars. Now, the injury report for the Chargers, their wide receiver Mike Williams is out. He will not play in this game with back. He has a back injury, like a fractured something in his back, fractured bone. He shouldn't even played that last game, the senior game, because he probably wouldn't have got hurt because it wasn't going to improve their seeding. Anyway, that preview is so they're going to be out. Justin Herbert is going to be out, one of his main weapons, Mike Williams. Now, the Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. The Chargers lead the series against the Jaguars, 9 wins to 4 losses. Quarterback Justin Herbert for the Chargers is making his first playoff debut. He finished second in the NFL in completions with 477 and passing yards with 4,739. The Jaguars got a pretty good running game with Travis Etienne, and he could run against this Chargers defense because that's the one knock on the Chargers. Their defense, they're next to last in the AFC against the run. And Etienne gained 1,125 yards running the ball for the Jaguars this season. So that's going to be one of the keys to this game. Can the Jaguars run the football against a weak Chargers defense? Now, the Chargers and Jaguars have never met in the playoffs. First time meeting for both these teams. The Jaguars are on the roll right now. They've won 5 in a row. And the last time the Jacksonville Jaguars made the playoffs was in 2017. And just think about what the Jacksonville Jaguars has done. They had that mess of a coach, Urban Meyer, last year. They couldn't run themselves out of a paper bag. They got rid of that horrible coach. They brought in Doug Peterson. Complete turnaround. So for those that say that coaching doesn't mean much at the professional level, it does. Coaching has a lot to say in how a team performs. Charles says Chargers head coach Brandon Staley should be fired. If the Chargers head coach should be fired, he should be fired if the Chargers don't win. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying. If the Chargers don't win, his name was on the hot seat. His name has been coming up in talks, so he may be getting a pink slip. They've been linking Sean Payton to the Chargers. That talk has been going on for a minute. I'm not gonna say that, man, because let's be honest, man. The Chargers have played. I mean, the Jaguars, they got a pretty good defense. I know everybody say the Jaguars are the Jaguars, but let's go and be real about it. It's the playoffs now. Regular season over. Everybody is 0-0. So anything quirky can happen. The Jaguars are playing at home. They got a lot of confidence. Man, I call it, this could be a toss-up. I don't think the Chargers are that much better than the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you look at the teams. Now, at the quarterback position, I definitely give the Chargers a little the edge because I think Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in the league. But if you look at this team, both teams on paper, I don't think that the Chargers are that much better than Jacksonville because it's all about that team that gets on the run at the end of the season. Jaguars have won 5 in a row. They run that pretty weak AFC South division, but at the end of the day, all that goes out the window when the playoffs starts. So we'll see. Now, Jacksonville quarterback Trevor Lawrence, he's the youngest quarterback in the playoffs at 23 years old. Will these bright lights be too bright for him? We're going to see. We'll see. So the Chargers at the Jaguars, I think this is going to be my upset special. I'm picking the Jaguars to win this game at home. I think it's going to be tight. I'm picking the Jaguars to beat the Chargers 21-7. Now let's get to our next preview. We got the Dolphins who've limped into the playoffs. Now we staying on, yeah, there you go. Thank you, producer Tyler. That's my guy Tyler back there running the show. Thank you, Tyler. Dolphins at the Bills. That's the early game on CBS on Sunday. We all know the Dolphins, they won't have Tua Tagovailoa. He is out with those concussions. Charles says, my bad. Yes, if the Chargers lose. The fourth down stuff and Mike Williams should not have been playing in the final game. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Mike Williams shouldn't even be played because they weren't going to improve their seeding. So why would you have your starters out there anyway? But he gonna have to live with it because that might be what cost him his job, Charles. I'm with you on that. Again, Dolphins at the Bills, 12 p.m. CBS. We all know the Buffalo Bills. Let's talk about this team and the adversity that they've been through thus far. I mean, obviously the Damar Hamlin injury, life-threatening situation. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. They've had 2 horrible snowstorms. One of them, they had to go play in Detroit. They just had another one. They had injuries. They lost their starting safety, Micah Hyde. They starting safety, one of their starting cornerbacks for the season. They just had injuries all over the place, and they still ended up getting in with a, they looking to go back to the AFC Championship game. I mean, they've somehow held it together. Sean McDermott, the head coach, they've stuck to the game plan, and players have stepped up. Now the Bills, they closed on a season run, 7 in a row. This is their 4th consecutive playoff appearance. The Dolphins now, they've limped into the playoffs, man. They lost 5 straight, and they beat the Jets 11-6 to get in. That was and that wasn't real good. But look, they on their 3rd string quarterback. Skylar Thompson is going to be starting this game on Sunday. Teddy Bridgewater has a broken finger. He's out. And again, I just mentioned Tua Tagovailoa. He's out. And then his career, people are saying that, he don't know if he should even play football anymore. I mean, he's had, I think, 3 concussions this season, 3 or 4. I know 3 for sure. So Tua won't be there. So you got those speedy receivers, man. It don't mean nothing if you ain't got a quarterback to get them a ball. When you got, Jalen Waddle and Cheetah. When you ain't got a quarterback to get in the ball. I don't care how great of a wide receiver you are, you're not much of a threat in the game. The teams are in the same division. Again, these are AFC division rivals. They split the season series. The Bills won the last game a couple of weeks ago at home, and then they lost at Miami. The Bills are 8-2 in their past 10 home games against the Dolphins, played in December or later. So again, you got the Dolphins at the Bills, noon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday on CBS. I don't think the Dolphins have a chance. I'm picking the Bills to win this game and continue on the Damar Hamlin inspiration, because I think sometimes when you have adversities and when you have something like that to happen, that kind of pushes a team to move into a whole different level of performance. So we'll see. I don't think the Dolphins have a shot with their 3rd string quarterback, but anything can happen, like they say. But I'm picking the Bills to win this game 30-13 on Sunday. Now let's get to another preview. We got the Giants at the Vikings. That's a Sunday game on Fox. That's the mid game. That's the 3:30 Eastern game. Check this out. Vikings set an NFL record this season with 11 wins by 8 points or fewer. They won 11 games by 8 points or fewer. I think that's cool that you can, and that's a great trait to have, but sometimes that luck runs out. And a lot of times it runs out at the most inopportune times. And I think I don't know. I think the Giants got a shot at winning this game. I ain't made my prediction yet, but I'm just saying. Now, the Vikings are back in the playoffs after a 2-year hiatus. Vikings got all-pro wide receiver. He got 50 of the first place votes on the all-AP team. Justin Jefferson, he caught 128 balls, 1,809 yards. What can you say about the young man out of LSU? He's a beast, top 5 receiver in the league. You still got Adam Thielen over there. You got Dalvin Cook as your running back. Minnesota offense got some, they potent. They got Hockenson, TJ Hockenson at tight end. So they got some firepower on that side. Now, defensively, they're a little shaky, I think, defensively. I think the Giants may could do something, especially with that run game with Saquon Barkley. Now, the Giants are 9-7-1, the third team from the NFC East to get in the playoffs. This is the first time the Giants have made it into the playoffs since 2016. First time head coach Brian Daboll, he took over a team that has been 22-59 over the previous 5 seasons. Got him 9-7-1. He's probably a candidate for head coach of the year. The Giants are 2-8 in their last 10 games. This team goes as well as Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Now they got that rookie over there on the defensive end, Kayvon Thibodeau. He's a beast. So Minnesota gonna have their hands full. They're gonna keep an eye out on that edge rusher for the Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau, versus that Vikings offensive line. Again, Saquon Barkley, he's the key. He was 4th in the league in rushing. He had 352 touches, and he also caught 57 receptions. Now the Vikings are 48-18 at home since the U.S. Bank Stadium opened in 2016. So they're a pretty good team at home. Yeah, they took some loss. That loss to the Cowboys probably was an aberration more than anything. Teams have bad games. They took it on the chin against the Cowboys at home. But again, they pretty much play well at home. Giants at the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to find a way to win this game, and I think their luck will run out in the divisional round. But I'm picking the Vikings to beat the Giants, and it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 24-20 Vikings. 24-20 Vikings. Charles says, KH, if you're the Giants, do you give quarterback Daniel Jones an extension? I wouldn't. No. What's your thoughts on that? I wouldn't. I just don't think he's it. I mean, he's a manager. I hate to use that word because everybody says want to call a quarterback that isn't good a game manager. I think that's really what he is. I wouldn't give him an extension, me personally. I was, and I know this sounds crazy. I would lease Derek Carr for about a year or two if I was the Giants. That's what I would do. But we'll see what happens. And if you have a good playoff run, that might change their thoughts too, Charles. If somehow Daniel Jones have a good playoff run, not saying they got to win the Super Bowl, but if they upset the Vikings and somehow manage their way to get a couple of wins, I don't know, man. Yeah, Charles says, no, I agree. Maybe a franchise tag and draft or go get Derek Carr. You and I think alike. That's why we should be GMs. I think the same thing. I say maybe go get Derek Carr, lease him for at least 2 years. See what's out there. So again, I'm picking the Vikings to win this game, but I think it's going to be close, 24-20. Now, the Ravens at the Bengals. That's the NBC night game on Sunday. Injury report: Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson is out. He's not playing. He probably won't play the playoffs. His knee injury is more serious than they're saying. He's saying it. He said it's more serious. Lamar Jackson, he posted that on his Instagram, saying it's a severe 3 PCL, MCL sprain. And that was news to the Ravens organization. So, man, it's getting sticky over there in Baltimore as far as the Lamar Jackson situation. But he's out. So they're going to have to lean on either Tyler Huntley, who has a right shoulder sprain. He hadn't practiced all week until he practiced yesterday. He still said he's about 90%, or they'll have to rock with their rookie quarterback, Anthony Brown, again. And the Bengals, their main injury is they got their guard, Alex Kappa, is out. He won't play. Now, this is the third time both these teams are facing off this season. The Bengals won the last week, 27-16. They split the season series. The Ravens are 2-3 without Lamar Jackson. Now, the Bengals are starting 2 backups on their offensive line, Hakeem Adeniji and guard Max Sharping. And I totally butchered Hakeem's name. But so now that's going to see, are they going to be able to protect Joe Burrow? You know, that's been a big problem, protecting Joe Burrow. He took a lot of sacks last year, not as many this year, but they got two backups starting on that offensive line. So the Ravens they're going to be rubbing their hands together because they're going to get after him. So we're going to see how that offensive line for the Bengals holds up. Now, Ravens head coach John Harbaugh has won an NFL record 8 road playoff games. The Ravens are 6-0 on the road in wild card games. Can he make it to 7-0 with either a banged up Tyler Huntley or Anthony Brown rookie? We'll see. But they do got J.K. Dobbins back, they running back. So they may try to lean on that run game. Then I got to give a shout out to East Texas East Texan that played for the Ravens, former Tyler High graduate, University of Houston Cougars, Tyus Bowser, linebacker for the Ravens. So looking to see if he can take it to the next level and help his team make it to the Super Bowl. Speaking of the Ravens D, they're only allowing 14.7 points per game. So again, we got a rematch of the AFC North foes, Ravens at Bengals. I'm picking the Bengals to find the way to win this. I think they'll get it done, even with their injuries on the offensive line. I'm picking the Bengals to beat the Ravens 27-13. 27-13 Bengals over the Ravens. Now, last NFL playoff wildcard weekend recap. Obviously, it's the Cowboys at the Bucks. That's the Monday night game on ESPN, 7:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Is this the swan song for 45-year-old Tom Brady? Could this be his last game? If the Cowboys knock him off, we'll see. But you know, Brady is 7-0 versus the Cowboys, and the Bucks, they limping into the playoffs. The Cowboys kind of limping in too because they put up a stinker against the Commanders that last game. But anyway, the Bucks are 8-9. This is the first time in 2 decades that a Tom Brady-led team has finished with a losing record. The Cowboys, we know their postseason drought. I mean, their history, it hadn't been the drought. They've won a few postseason games here and there, but they haven't won a postseason game on the road since the 1992 playoffs. So we're looking at almost 31 years since they won a road playoff game. That's whew. All right, Cowboys fans, talk to me what you think. Now Brady, he holds all these playoff records, most games, 47 played, most wins in the playoffs, 35, Super Bowl titles, 7, most Super Bowl appearances, 10, most playoff passing yards, 13,049, and most playoff touchdown passes with 86. Those are all the records that most people consider the GOAT Tom Brady holds. Charles says, I'm neutral, but go Bucks. That's an oxymoron, Charles. You say you're neutral, but go Bucks. But I know what you mean. I got you. Now, the Cowboys are 2-0 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. But both those victories came at home in the early 80s during the Tom Landry years. So again, that's the Monday night matchup, Martin Luther King Day. We got the Cowboys at the Bucks, Monday night, 7:15 p.m. Man, I think this game is a toss-up. I think both teams aren't not playing well at this point. They both are pretty healthy. I do know the Cowboys, they got their center back, Tyler by Diaz. I can never say his name. I know his center, he's back. He practiced. The offensive line is back in their positions. So it's hard for me to pick against Brady. I think Brady's going to go 8-0. I think they're going to find a way to beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys going to shoot themselves in the foot, I think. I think the Cowboys will lose a close one to the Buccaneers, 23-20. Tom Brady will make it 8-0 and continue on into the divisional round. All right, Mr. Producer, let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about Damar Hamlin. I know I hasn't been on since all that happened, but I was watching that game, and I knew something wasn't right because they were taking too long. But again, Damar Hamlin, just a real quick recap. The Monday night game last week between the Bills and the Bengals couldn't be resumed play after the Damar Hamlin injury. Looked like a routine tackle on T. Higgins. He raised up off the turf, and then he just dropped back down. EMS personnel and everything ran to the field, worked on it. It would be later known that he did. they had to perform CPR for basically 9 minutes. He did lose. He had a heart attack, basically went in cardiac arrest. They rushed him to the hospital. They said that he went into cardiac arrest again on the way to the hospital. They were able to bring him back. But it's all about, the good man of the good Lord up above, the Most High, was able to be with Damar Hamlin. After more than 9 days, now the update, in 2 hospitals, he is back at home in Buffalo. He was discharged from Buffalo General Medical Center on this past Wednesday. He went through a comprehensive medical evaluations, cardiac, neurological, and vascular testing, but he still has a ways to go, but he's still on the up and up. Is improving every day. If you didn't know, he had already started a toy drive, a GoFundMe, that for his hometown in Pennsylvania, Chasing Millions Foundation, and it has raised over $8 million since his cardiac arrest. And there's another foundation that has been started, GoFundMe, for him. Hamlin has started selling T-shirts with his signature hand forming a heart symbol and words, "Did we win?" If you didn't know, he was able to watch the Buffalo game, their home game against the Patriots. Actually, the "Did we win?" is, he said that once he came out of ICU after the Monday night game, he asked the doctor, that was the first thing asked, "Did we win?" The doctor told him, "Yes, you did win. You won life." So, but now he's getting those T-shirts made up with the love symbol saying, "Did we win?" And it's just been one of those stories, man. Again, I think when you think about, I was on social media quite a bit, and you saw a lot of commenters were saying that, that's football. I've seen men die on the field before, and that's the untold truth. There's only been one death of a football player in the history of on the field in the NFL, and I posted this story from Yahoo, and it happened in 1972. He was a former Detroit Lion. So anyone that was saying that they've seen a football player die on the field, on NFL field, no, that's not true. You haven't never seen that. And these men are professional. They're humans. They're football players, but outside of those jerseys, they're human beings first. So it's just amazing to me how some people can just be so classless. But anyway, Damar Hamlin is making a full recovery. Now, will he be able to play football again? I think that's the furthest thing from his mind and the Bills' mind. Charles says Bills took the opening kickoff for a touchdown exactly, and he was able to watch that on in the hospital. He was still in Cincinnati at that time. It's looking up for Damar Hamlin again. I think playing football probably won't happen again. But who's to say? I'm not God. God can, through all things can happen. This man could be able to set foot on the football field again. What was the cause of his cardiac arrest? There's been a lot of assumptions out there. We don't know. Doctors know all that. We'll see. Some people was thinking that it could have been caused by COVID, the virus shot. I'm not getting into all that speculation. All we know is those responders, those EMS people deserve a lot of credit. Those are the heroes for saving Damar Hamlin's life. Because let's be real. He could have died on that field if those emergency responders did not act as quickly as they did. So I want to give a shout out to those responders and the Buffalo Bills training staff, all those in Cincinnati. Man, for sometimes that's a thankless job. People don't really understand the importance of you until they're in a life or death situation. So shout out to those responders that were able to work under pressure and to save Damar Hamlin's life. So again, that's the update on Damar Hamlin, his latest. Again, I'm sure he'll be watching. He's at home with his family, his mother, his dad, and his brother. They are in Buffalo. He's going to be rehabbing. He's got a long road, but he is at home in Buffalo. Charles says second kickoff as well. It was 96 yards, 963, and the Bills were trailing 70-14 at 3-point deficit. I'm just saying. Okay. I know they took the opening kickoff for touchdown, but yeah, okay, all right. But so again, Damar Hamlin, he's recovering again. The shout out to all the people, all the love that he was getting, all the gifts, the outpouring of support, the outpouring of love, all of those. The people donating to his causes. If we could. if we could just be like that, if human beings can be just like that all the time, what a wonderful world this would be. Why does it always have to take tragedy for people to come together? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just thinking out loud. All right. So Damar Hamlin, prayers to you, young brother. Keep doing your thing. The good Lord got you, man, and we wish the best for you in your recovery and elsewhere. Now let's move on to our next topic, Tyler. Doggone it. Yeah, I said it. Doggone it. Them number 1 Georgia Bulldogs rolls number 3 TCU 65-7 in the title game. And man, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I pretty much stopped watching this game right before halftime. I would just peek in and peek out, peek in and peek out. Man, because look, Georgia got on the roll. I was like, wow. Charles says Damar Hamlin is number 3. My bad, Kenny. I was trying to connect the dots. Oh, okay, no problem, Charles. I was trying to say, what was Charles talking about? I got you. It's all good, brother. It's all good. But doggone it, them Georgia Bulldogs, they back-to-back national champions. They rolled the Big 12's TCU 65-7 in the title game on this past Monday night. There was a crowd of 72,628 at SoFi Stadium in LA that saw this beat down. And I'm trying to be, I ain't trying to be mean, but doggone it, man. TCU, they were overmatched. Let's go on, just be honest. They were overmatched. Again, the Bulldogs are back-to-back national champs, first time since Bama did it back-to-back in the 2011-2012 season. What can you say? I mean, it ain't much to say. I'm going to get it. Senior quarterback Stetson Bennett for the Dogs. He was 18-25, 304 yards for 4 touchdowns. He had 2 TDs rushing, and he's finished his career as 23 as a starter for Georgia. Now, check this out. Stetson Bennett was a walk-on for Georgia. He was a juke. First of all, he tried to walk on. They told him that when he first got there, so he transferred to a JUCO. He went and won at a JUCO. He came back to Georgia. He had to walk on again, had to beat out a couple of JT Sullivan, I believe, is one, had to beat out a couple of guys to become the starter. And he ended up being 29 and only lost 3 games as a starter for the Bulldogs. So, that young, I don't know if he's going to be a next level quarterback. All I know is that when you talk about the Georgia Bulldogs and great players, I know everybody first think about Herschel Walker. It's probably the greatest Bulldog ever. I don't know now. Stetson Bennett got two of them things, 2 of them chips back to back. So he might be considered the greatest Bulldog to ever put on the shoulder pads. Now, the Bulldogs led this game 38-7 at half. That was the largest halftime lead in the national championship game since 2002. And that was a BCS title game. That was when Miami led Nebraska 34-0. Bulldogs coach Kirby Smart. Charles says TCU needed everything to go right to beat Michigan. They did, not taking anything away from TCU, but they were lucky to be there. I totally agree. And this kind of shows you the difference between, and people can say what they want. I know they don't like to hear this, but the SEC is the top dog when you talk about college football. Big 12, they all right, but they ain't in the SEC league yet. And it's not many conferences that are. Now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. Texas and Oklahoma, y'all better strap it up, because the SEC ain't nothing like the Big 12. Yep, y'all better strap it up. Get your popcorn ready, because SEC they the top dogs. So and it was shown. No diss to TCU at all. First year head coach Sonny Dykes did an absolutely great job. Nobody even had TCU on the radar at all. Charles says, whoa, Kenny, it's only 4 teams in the SEC. It don't matter, Charles. If you look at that conference, what conference is better than the SEC? Even if it is 4 teams, what conference is better than the ACC? I'll let you. I'm sure you're gonna still say yes, SEC. What conference is better? They're the top dogs, man. Even the bottom 4 teams probably could go to the Pac-12 and be in the top 4. I'm just saying. I mean, that's my opinion. It is what it is. But back to TCU again. I want to give a shout out to head coach Sonny Dykes. He did his thing. They're the top dogs, but there's some other teams in the SEC that could go to other conferences and be in the top 4. But I'm just saying they're the top 4, but there's other teams in the SEC that's just as good, not as the top 4, but could go to other conferences and be the top dogs. But overall, I'm looking at it in its totality, not just 4 teams. But I get what you're saying, though. So let's talk about TCU. They were trying to win the program's first national champ title since 1938. Again, with first-year head coach Sonny Dykes. High trophy up, Max Duggan. He just couldn't get it done. The Georgia's defense was just they was on it, man. He was only 14 to 22, 152 yards with 2 INTs. And the Horned Frogs came in as 13.5-point underdogs. We all kind of knew that. Again, this team definitely overachieved. They finished 5-7 last year. The Horned Frogs did, and they were picked to finish 7th in the Big 12 this year. And they overachieved. Again, I don't want to take nothing away from them. Matter of fact, their wide receiver coach for TCU Horned Frogs is an East Texan, former Oklahoma Sooner, former Washington Commanders, Malcolm Kelly. He was on the staff at TCU. He's straight out of East Texas from Longview. They was looking to bring one home, and was hoping that maybe East Texas, and there's a lot of East Texas kids on that TCU team as well. So it'd have been great to see them win it, but they were just overmatched. I mean, let's be honest, Georgia Bulldogs, they were just ready, and they get ready to lose a lot of players too to the draft. A couple of their guys, just like they had to replace the 5 first rounders they lost last draft, they're gonna have to replace a lot of guys this year. But Georgia's gonna keep on rolling. Is Georgia overtaking Alabama as the top dog in the SEC? What you think, Charles? They getting close. Charles says the Big Ten is close. They all right. Big Ten ain't SEC though. Malcolm Kelly, 2nd round pick. Yep, he's straight out of East Texas, Longview, Texas, Oklahoma Sooner. So yep. So again, yeah, the national title game, it was kind of a thud, and I did see the numbers, the television ratings on it. It was one of the low. And again, this is no disrespect to those young fellas, young men either. I mean, you play who you play. The ratings are showing that this is one of the lowest watched national title games in a while, and I'm sure because at halftime it was what 38-7. What was it? Yeah, something like that. So. Yes, again, hats off to Georgia, back-to-back national championships. Hats off to their head coach, Kirby Smart, 5 SEC East titles, 2 SEC championships, 2 national titles. So we're talking about Georgia more than Alabama now in the SEC. Is this going to be the new thing? Time will tell. All right, last topic. We'll roll through this real quick. Tyler. We're talking about this thing really get a lot of airplay. UFC President Dana White, this happened on New Year's Eve. He slapped his wife at a club in Mexico. And on this past Wednesday, he did his I'm sorry apology tour, saying, that he should get all the negative comments. He said, I accept it. I should get it. Well, my problem with this is why didn't ESPN, just to let y'all know, ESPN is basically a partner with the UFC, with Dana White and his UFC organization. So they didn't have a whole lot to say about this Dana White domestic violence, because it is domestic violence. He slapped his wife, regardless of his wife saying she came out to defend him. But at the end of the day, ESPN and a lot of these media organizations have a lot to say about other things, about athletes, i.e. Kyrie Irving posting a link, and they talk about that for 2 weeks. But this Dana White domestic violence, slapping his wife, it's barely a mention. It's a blurb. Double standard, right? Yeah. So, but Dana White went on his apology tour saying, one thing I do want to clarify in this thing that I didn't talk about on TMZ because I didn't expect it or I didn't see it coming, is the people that are defending me. There's never an excuse. There's no defense for this, and people should not be defending me no matter what. All the criticism I've received this week is 100% warranted. Oh, you think? Yeah, but that's that old reverse psychology mumbo jumbo Dana White. ESPN, shame on you. Y'all call everybody else out. Y'all call other athletes out for when they do stuff like this. Yeah, right, Charles, exactly. ESPN has a contract with USCF, so there's that. Then Stephen A. Smith, he was asked about it from another. I think it was he didn't talk about it on ESPN. I think he talked to someone. He did an interview with some media organization. And he basically said Dana White is my friend, this and that, yada yada yada. He tiptoed around it just like he tiptoed around his boy Skip Bayless disrespect of Shannon Sharp. But that's a whole nother topic, neither here nor there. So again, I think that Dana White, I mean, he's the president and owner. I mean, what can you do? I mean, he could suspend himself for 30 days or whatever, but he wasn't even charged with anything. That's another kicker. I know it happened in Mexico, but he wasn't even charged. So I don't know. I just think that the media, and I'm part of the media, I'll be honest with you, but media picks and chooses what they want to cover and how much they want to cover and all that. Yeah, Charles says ESPN has a contract with UFC, so there's that. Yep, exactly. So again, we'll see what happens. Don't expect much to come from that. But I just wanted to mention that since it didn't get a whole lot of airplay on a whole lot of media outlets, at least I didn't see it myself. So there's that. So we're down to my hot mic moment. It's going to be real quick. This is a new year, 2023. I want to say, first of all, thanks for Charles for popping in. I believe Demi J, thanks for popping in. I hope you guys are having a great start to your new year. We're 14 days in. I want to say about my hot mic moment is about being fair and respecting people. Again, one of the hottest topics that was going on prior to me coming on was the Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp relationship and how Skip Bayless handled that tweet, that disrespectful tweet he tweeted out during the Damar Hamlin situation when he went in cardiac arrest on the field. He would come back, he would tweet out that Skip Bayless was basically more concerned about how the game was going to be made up than about that individual, Damar Hamlin's well-being. And then he would go on when Shannon Sharp came back, and Shannon said that, you know, he had a problem with his tweet, and he said he stand by his tweet, and he said, I'm not taking it down. Here's my thing. I would say this, and I'm gonna get out of here. I can kind of respect a Skip Bayless person like that, because you know what? I always said, you know, Maya Angelou said this, the late great Maya Angelou said this, is when a person shows you who they are from the jump, believe them. Skip Bayless has showed us who he was a long time ago. Skip Bayless don't care nothing about no people. He don't care nothing about his co-hosts because he go on and disrespect them. So again, to my people watching, to any this goes in real life with dealing with people. When a person show you who they are, believe them the first time. Always believe that. Charles says Strahan called out Skip, which was awesome. Yes, it was, Charles, and I watched that. And I'm glad, because Skip was making it seem like nobody had a problem with his tweet. And Strahan said, no, I had a problem with it, basically. I wish he would have called him out by name, but we all know who he was talking about. So anyway, so that's my hot mic moment. Again, I want to thank Charles, Demi J for joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe to TFG Sports Media. Again, I checked before I came on. We had 998 subscribers. Just need 2. Share this. Subscribe to the channel so we get to that magic number 1,000 and beyond, so I can get some of those watch hours. Go watch some of the videos. Share them. Hit that thumbs up button. Get that YouTube algorithm going. And also subscribe to my Kendrick Sports Hustle YouTube channel. Doing sports there as well. I'm at 620 subscribers there. So go subscribe. Slide on over there to YouTube and subscribe to both of them so we can get it popping, man. It's been great doing this thing. Again, I want to thank you guys for joining me. This is January. It's Capricorn season. I got to give a shout out to the Capricorn born days, because guess what? I got a born day coming up real soon. About to be the end of Capricorn season. But I want to say to all my Capricorn babies, happy born day to you. I hope you've had a good one. It's about to be Aquarius season, but we still got a few days until the Capricorn's still in control. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching. This has been your TFG Sports Media show. I'm your sports guy, Kendrick. Make sure you drop back here. Check me out every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys enjoy Wild Card Weekend. We'll see you on the other side. I'm out. Deuces.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record. footage up, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes.